have a problem. You are one of those who have a problem with 5G technology and the relationship with biology or the relationship with human health. What is the 5G frequency spectrum, and how does it relate with human health?
Well, I mean, with the lower bands, there's not so much of a problem. The issue is the millimeter wave at 60 gigahertz frequency. Now, there's something called atmospheric attenuation. What that means is when a wave is being dampened or absorbed by the atmosphere. And it is observed that on the SHF to EHF bands, there are certain spikes on that curve. The first spike, I don't have that slide. If not, would have, yes, that's the slide.
So the 60 gigahertz millimeter wave. And so it's what is a 60 gigahertz millimeter wave? That slide, if we could put it on.
Yes. So basically, the 60 gigahertz millimeter wave is within the extremely high frequency spectrum. And what happens is it's almost 98% attenuated by oxygen.
What does that mean?
It means something in the atmosphere. You see, this wave, when we say radiation, many people might not know what it is, so they might not appreciate that even non-ionizing radiation has problems. But at 60 gigahertz, it means you have 60 gigahertz photon energy. Photon is the carrier of the electromagnetic force. So that's how electrons transfer energy between each other. Yes.
What does it affect humans?
Oh, absolutely. So this is how it is. If you are exposed to 60 gigahertz millimeter wave radiation, which is being attenuated by oxygen in the atmosphere, everything that has to do with oxygen in your blood, oxygen in your atmosphere, what happens is the electrons, which form a covalent bond that make oxygen diatomic, even if the activation energy required to break the bond, that happens on the ionizing radiation. It breaks bonds. But on non-ionizing radiation, it has enough energy to change the spin of the electron, which basically destabilizes its ability to function in simple terms as we can use it.
So in simple terms, the water in our body is being affected, which makes us breathe and live as a human being.
So water is different from, this is directly oxygen.
Oxygen, okay.
This is directly oxygen. So the ion component in your blood, hemoglobin, is what's responsible for transporting oxygen, if you remember our elementary biology.
Absolutely.
So the hemoglobin is going to struggle to lock onto the oxygen atoms because its orientation has changed. This is subatomic particles. It's not a very popular and well, it's interesting to me, but it's not a very generally interesting part of physics.
So basically, for animals and humans, the 5G spectrum or the electromagnetic waves from the 5G affects humans.
It will affect everything, not just humans. It affects animals. I mean, anything that's a vertebrate that uses oxygen.